trust the process. We have a process in place. You've got all these trainers, all the people that care about development of these people. So just trust the process.
Welcome everyone to the We Are Ōtara Podcast. Today we have a very unique guest, and I mean by the definition of unique, it's he's more athletic than I am. I normally walk in a 0.5 speed, but we get to that into another podcast. But today I have an amazing guest. Please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hello everyone, my name is Jake Sheehan and I'm a professional wrestler.
Wow, professional wrestler. How long have you been wrestling?
12 years now.
Way.
Yeah.
What got you into that into the realm of wrestling? Because wrestling has different facets, right? Like you can go into professional wrestling like through Olympics, and then you have professional wrestling, and that's all of I don't want to. So there's like WWE, WCW, and whatnot. So what got you into that line of wrestling?
I first saw wrestling at an IPW show. Funnily enough, in 2006, they came to my hometown of the Hibiscus Coast, and they did a show there, so I got to see all of live pro wrestling for the first ever time, like 10 minutes from my house. That was really cool. And then I started watching WWE.
Nice.
I found out one of my neighbours who was at the show was also like a wrestling fan, so he and his brothers got me into WWE. So I've been watching it all throughout then, and then obviously as you get more into wrestling, get a bit older, you find more stuff, Japanese stuff, more American, European stuff. So just kind of domino affected from there.
Nice. With that said, I got to get the wrestling fan questions out of the way. Favorite wrestler?
Favorite wrestler's a tough one. It can be different on any given day, really. I'd say probably Randy Orton, one of my favorites. That's that era I started watching, so it's rose-tinted glasses of seeing his entire career.
Right, so that's like the early 2000s, is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So my favorite wrestler currently at the moment that I've been watching and observing is Yano Toru. So you've seen Yano Toru's repertoire, which is all comedy, but his underline is all Greco-Roman wrestling, high school level. If he was in America, I reckon he would have been at least NCAA Division I level as well. In terms of that sort of thought, how did you get into training your way through the ranks in wrestling? What was the first step of you training as a wrestler?
So funnily enough, Vinny Dunn was putting up a post that he was doing like a retirement match in 2012.
Whoa!
Which is hilarious considering he didn't actually retire until a few months ago.
Right, yeah, I saw that.
I retired him. So
wow.
He put up a post in 2012. He was doing a retirement match. So drove out to Howick and watched the show. And I was 18 at the time. So I thought, I'll flick my message and see if they're doing tryouts and stuff. I'll give it a go. I was playing rugby at the time for like an under-21s comp. And yeah, they did a tryout. It was me and maybe 4 other people. And we just did this horrendous, brutal tryout. And I've been training ever since. That was in 2000 and I think mid 2013 I started training.
Whoa,
so I've been
that's
going
a while ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry to not make you old, but that is a while ago.
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So you mentioned there was a brutal part of you starting off. What did that like brutal initiation look like? What did you have to do?
So we did a thing called a deck of cards.
Okay.
And what they'll do is each suit is like a different exercise, but it was only legs. So it was like squats, jumping squats, lunges, jumping lunges. So you have to go through the 52 decks of the card, of like the whole deck. So like picture cards will be double value, so they'd be 20 instead of 10. So you end up doing like 200 reps of everything.
You kidding?
Yeah. So I had rugby training the next day because we had a semi-final that weekend. But like, so not being able to walk was pretty fun. Yeah, it was pretty rough. And it only got worse because once Travis Banks is my trainer, and he was in Japan at the time, so he wasn't there for my tryout. Once he got back from Japan, it got way worse. Ooh. We're talking like 1,400 squats of training and stuff.
So that would have murdered your legs too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And you mentioned Travis Banks. That's another stable, would you ring in New Zealand wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So, when you were doing your trainings, who were sort of your seniors at that time? Because when you look at wrestling, it's more of like little brother, big brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who were your seniors at the time?
So Kingy, he was one of the main trainers. James Shaw, I got in with James Shaw quite early. Alfred Valentine, Travis Banks.
Yeah.
Vinny Dunn he's like my wrestling dad, so
Yeah.
he also lived on the coast, so him and I'd go to his place and we'd do film review stuff all the time. Basically anyone I could get knowledge from, I was trying to get friendly with as early as possible to try and get the most out of my trainings.
Wow, that's cool, man. I was like we talk like I when I talk to my friends, I always think of like the Japanese dojo style where everyone takes care of their own of style of training, and then they have their seniors who come in and out once in a while to go have a look at that sort of level of wrestling and see how they're doing, and you service them and whatnot.
Yeah.
If you can remember, what was it like going into your first match, and who did you face your first opponent?
So my first singles match was Vinny Dunn. It was 2014 at a Hamilton Armageddon in front of maybe 30 odd people.
Yeah.
It was the Armageddon was in these like massive kind of warehouses type units,
Right.
and we were in like one of the only attractions in this one little warehouse thing, so it felt like this huge empty space, and then just like this wrestling ring in the corner.
Yeah.
So that was cool. He bashed me. He hit me with his finisher like several times. I don't know why. I was just the green ass rookie. And then my main IPW debut was January of 2015.
Whoa. Okay.
And that was against Kurt Chaos. And that was a fun little match. He beat me with not even his finisher, which is like a thing that like just isn't done anymore. It's always like I've got to get my finish over. So he I think I was giving him a 10 punch, and he just hit me with a powerbomb, and he just pinned me from that.
What?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, man.
What was his finish, if you don't mind me asking?
It was a move called Chaos Theory. This big like spinny DDT thing.
Whoa.
But yeah, he just drove me with a powerbomb, and that was it.
I mean, I'm just like, okay, a powerbomb is powerful, right? But then, if you look back, I think there's a lot of people at that time. If I remember correctly, Owens would have had that powerbomb as well.
I think he was still on Independence at that point. He was still using the package power drive.
Oh right, yeah.
2015, yeah.
But I didn't.
A long time ago, bro.
Yeah, I'm feeling my oldness and whatnot. Oh my god! But sorry, let me get back into brass tacks. So you mentioned that you've been in the game for so long. Is there any wrestlers that you've seen so far that have come up in the ranks that you reckon will outshine their own stardom here in New Zealand?
Yeah, the training in New Zealand's developed quite a lot since my time. Like when Impact Pro Wrestling's now a 5-day-a-week training school compared to 2 nights when I started.
Really?
So I run the training school in terms of the trainers report to me who's at training and like how they're doing, what sort of stuff. I'll go in every so often to kind of manage and see who's doing good at what and who needs to work on what. But there's a lot of young talent coming through now that are excessively good, like annoyingly good for how long they've been training. And sometimes it does my head, and I'm like, this guy's been training, like a year, and he's much better than I was at that point, which is great. But also like, damn you, kid. So Xander Taylor would be probably my numero uno pick. He is 6'3", like 130 kilos. He's 16.
Sorry, run that by me one more time.
Yeah, so he's 6'3", 130 kilos, and he's 16 years old. He's upwards of, I think, 50 matches in front of audiences now.
What?
And he's at the point where he's calling matches at training to people.
See, wow.
Yeah, so he's for someone his age, he's very good, and we try to tell him that, but in a way that he doesn't get a big head.
Yeah.
He's already got a big head because he's a giant person. But him, Perfect Peter Parr is another young one. He's also tall and athletic and got a good gas tank and picks up everything really quickly. There's Jack Maximum, who's another guy who's He was, when he started, he was much bigger and he's lost heaps of weight, and he's
cool.
getting quite jacked now, which is ironic because he goes by Jacked Maximum.
Yeah.
There is, who else? Is Pariah that's coming through as well. He's been training for a while, and we've developed this new character with him, and he's going 100% on it, and it's working. Like it's so good to see him getting his flowers, because he is good. He just never really had anything to grasp on that people could grasp onto, and that he could kind of work his wrestling skills around. Who else we have? Raven. Raven is another fantastic trainee. Is a dancer, so has all the fundamental physical abilities, and just picking up choreography like it's nothing.
Wow.
Again, that's a stupidly annoying one. We're like, this person's been training 8 months and they're match ready.
Already.
Already getting standing ovations on their matches, and you're like, I wish I was that good when I started, but the fact of the matter is I just wasn't. So we've got a lot of young guns coming through. Crazy. Like Joseph Cruz, another one. He's 19. He's really, really good. He's calling matches to people. He's getting really, really over, really fast, athletic. I could probably go on for like another 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I like to hear these up and coming stars, because in the future you want to hear them up in the marquees at some point. You know, you mentioned Raven. I watched the title. Was it the title? Yeah, it was a title shot against Mighty Mike.
Maybe a title match. I'm not 100%. I was too focused on my own title match.
Oh yeah, you were like legitimately. We'll get to there, but it was definitely a title match, and just the level of performance they both had on that ring was incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy good.
It was like, whew.
Yeah.
So we talked about the rising stars. Let's come back to base, and how would you describe yourself, your character, to someone who is watching you for the very first time?
I think quintessentially, I'm a little bit of a bully, but it depends on who I'm bullying.
Right.
For the last year or so, I've just been bullying and dunking on all the heels.
Right.
Like Will Stone, that guy's so annoying, and I've just been dunking on him all year long. Sir Mr. Burns, I've been dunking on him all year long. Like a bit grizzled, I would say as well. Definitely got some. He's got some anger issues there that I like to portray quite a lot.
I remember your running control. I just want to mention that.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
I loved it because you played it off so well, and everyone just. You can feel the crowd going.
Oh yeah. I during that run, I had some promos where I couldn't speak because people were just so loud. It was like virile hatred.
Yeah,
I'd have fans messaging me that they wanted to jump me.
Kidding!
Yeah, man. I had some fans that really were not a fan.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, hang on. Let me check my clock. I didn't realize we went back to the 1980s where you had to load a shoehorn in a tennis racket for it. Jeez, that much hate. That much heat. Sorry, heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you introduce? So, if you had, let's say, you had a conversation with Jake, the character, and yourself. Mm-hmm. How much of a difference between yourself and the character, and how much do you share between the two of you in terms of personality-wise?
I think quite similar in the sense that there's calculation there, there's method to the madness. There's always a plan happening. I'm a bit like that in real life, where I've always got things in motion, and so a lot of similarities. Not so much of like just being a general d-bag.
Yeah,
I think I'm quite a nice and chill dude in reality. So that's probably where the buck stops.
Well, no, fair enough. What is the inspiration for the Oni mask? I've always wanted to ask this.
I really like Japanese culture.
Right.
And I've always been a big fan of like that anonymous type, like mask type thing that you don't really know who it is, like the anonymity of it.
Yeah.
So initially when I did the Control promos, it was a big whodunit. Like for I think like 6 to 8 months, there were promos going up on every show. No one knew who it was, and everyone like had guesses, and none of them were right. Stuff like that. I'm also like a huge Star Wars nerd.
Hey.
So it was kind of like my Vader mask. I wanted something black and something that could be easily identifiable. No one was doing anything like this in 2017.
No.
So, like, I was the first person in the country to have, like, a logo in gear. Everyone just had, like, names on butts. That was, like, the big thing with New Zealand wrestling. But I had, like, a proper logo on my gear. So when I debuted, everyone was like, oh, damn, he's going 100%. So, just something that would be easily identifiable, really, as well.
No,
so
absolutely.
I've got 5 of them now.
Really?
I've got 5 different colours.
Damn.
Yeah.
And with branding and whatnot, how difficult is it for an upcoming wrestler to create a brand / character? I know there's like at least some time of creative that you have to sit by yourself to go, what am I needing to make it to shape this not creature character, and how long did it take for you to create that brand and to create that character and put it together?
Well, I bought the original Control mask in February of 2017.
Wow.
And I didn't debut it on a show until January of 2018. So I had that in the back pocket for a while. I always wanted to be a heel when I debuted, but I got some, what I think is very good advice, and it's always good to debut as a face, learn the ropes of the match that way before going into a heel role where you've got to kind of run the match in a sense.
Yeah.
And that, meant that my heel turn actually meant something instead of just debuting it as a guy that would come out and go, shut up, and get people to boo you and stuff.
Yeah.
I would say I probably put about 6 months of planning into it, and I would bounce it off people. I had a whole scrapbook of like different inspirations. I'd print things off, I'd take screenshots from stuff and put it in this book, and I would go, what do you think of this? Would this work? Would this work? And throughout 6 months and maybe asking 6 to 8 people their advice and their input, I came up with more of a rounded picture.
Wow. And I guess that's part of how you form yourself in a wrestling environment, right? That not only you do the training side of things, but it's also coming up with the character. For those who are wanting to get into wrestling, what is the first step that they need to do? Where do they begin? Where do they even start at that point?
I mean, everyone's got a different journey.
Right.
I would say the first step is getting to some sort of physical fitness where you can survive a tryout. Once you survive a tryout, I mean, it gets harder after your tryout because we kind of test the waters with people and then it'll just get worse. So having a level of physical fitness, you don't have to come in and have a character. It's a little bit cringe if people come to train their first training. They're like, I've got this character, I want to debut. And you're like, oh, okay, champion. Like, you got to learn the ropes first. So it's just taking that first step and going to a tryout. I mean, we had our last show, we had 60-odd sign-ups, and we had like 10 people turn up. Whoa. So the hit rate of people being like, I want to do this, and then going is stupidly low. So just having that first step, making that first step to actually like turn up and be there is probably the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And just from my understanding from watching, not only from the American side of things, the Japanese side of things, it's getting the courage to go up there and actually do it, right? Yeah. Because wrestling alone is daunting. So you're not only going to speak onto a microphone, but you're actually performing it live in front of people. Not even like in front of people, but you're in front of your peers, because that's 90% of the audience that you're actually working with is your peers, because if you're not safe enough, they won't be able to trust you afterwards.
100%.
So we had a discussion earlier about what your positions and whatnot. What is the difference from being in that promoter / trainer role and from being a performer in a wrestling point of view?
It can be a lot. It's a lot of time and effort put into shows outside of just performing. There's obviously like promotion, there's video materials. You've seen our production. There's a lot that goes into that. Everyone gets video, music. Everyone gets a custom lighting we call a sequence. So when you list someone for an entrance, you press the button, it'll play everything, so it'll do their lights. Sometimes it's conditioned to their music, so all that sort of stuff goes on the background. On top of that, there's training. I think for people that are strictly in a performing role, I'm not saying they have it easy, because all they have to do is go to training, turn up and wrestle, but they don't have those back-to-back things of they're not walking around on a show day with a clipboard full of things they've got to get done.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas I do. It just means that on show days I don't really get to, not necessarily like enjoy the day, but it's my day goes very quickly. Like before I know it, we're doing the show meeting and the show's going to start in half an hour and I'm not changed yet. And so yeah, it could be a lot to do all of that and wrestle.
Wow.
So I've always got big respect for people that do that.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about guys like as of recently, Hunter is one, Shawn Michaels is another. Going into the Japanese point of view, Tanahashi as well, who's stepping back from that wrestler's position into a bigger position, which is like president of the company.
Yeah.
What is your vision as a promoter that you want to see with the promotions that you're helping build? What is the vision that you want to see in 10 years' time?
I want to see bigger and better everything. My vision is that this can be a part-time or a full-time career for people in this country. At the moment, it's just not physically achievable. It's not possible. Wrestling's just not mainstream enough.
Yeah.
That's the goal, is to try and do these bigger shows like Doudrop and stuff like that, where we're drawing large numbers of people that can see the product. Because again, same with performing, it's trying to get someone in the door for the first time, because I strictly believe that when they come in the door for the first time, they're going to be hooked, because we put on such a level of entertainment that you just don't get from anything else. There's no other sport or performance art that has the level of engagement that a wrestling show does with their audience. Like a good performer, when you're wrestling a match, can hear what the audience is reacting to, not reacting to, and switch it up on the fly. Yeah. You don't get that with anything else, you know? You don't get like a play that's, they're going through their lines and stuff and they go, this isn't working, maybe we'll just change the script on the fly. You never get that with anything else. So my goal is to see huge attendance numbers consistently. I want to see some touring going on. I'd love to see, like a 2-month tour of North and South Island, of just the boys on a bus, traveling down. We're all going together, setting up, just going town to town. I think that would be fantastic. We're at the stage where the training school that we have is no longer relying on shows to pay rent. It's that we have enough trainees and we've got enough people where everything's self-sufficient now. So that's a huge step since when I started.
Can I shake your hand on that? That alone, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
That alone puts so much fucking pride, because I saw New Zealand wrestling as here. Yeah. And it's slowly building out. And all I have to do is to look across the ditch, where Australia's already established itself and whatnot. I'm going, why the fuck are we not there yet? But just to hear that just puts a fucking pride in my heart, legitimately.
Yeah, there's been things that we've done in the last, I'd say, 5 years that have been we've put $20,000 worth of funds into our production alone.
Good shit.
Our trainings are 5 days a week now. That's never been a thing in New Zealand. So we've got a ridiculous level of trainers. We've got Ringo Ryan training. He's led 2,000 matches. He's been wrestling full time since he was a teenager in the UK, and he's here and he's training every week. So we've got all these ridiculous resources available now. We've got Hanare, who's in New Japan. Yep. He's been here. He's been injured for the last year or so, but he's been giving consistent advice. He's been running shows. He's been giving feedback. If you put up a match, he'll go, hey, do you want some feedback? And you'll go, yeah. And then he'll immediately copy paste this huge scrolls worth of advice for you that you're like, we just never had that when I came in. We didn't have anyone in WWE or New Japan or anything like that. So it's just having all these ridiculous resources available. It's going to be a slow grind for sure. It's not believable for it to be in 5 years time we'll be getting paid full-time money to do this sort of stuff. It's just not achievable. So it's having faith in the long-term vision. And I think all the workers are now fully on board with it. They understand the goals. They're all working towards a common objective. And I think it's just a matter of time before we get there, really.
No, man. And then going on the other side, what is your vision for yourself as a character, as a wrestler itself? What is there to be conquered for Jake Sheehan?
It's a tough one because I mean I've been New Zealand heavyweight champion.
Yep.
I've been a multi-time tag champion in other promotions and IPW. I've made the PWI 500.
Way.
I was 313th, I think. And I got a photo on the thing. Like the main photo of my page was me, and then the page after me was Horace. So me and him got back-to-back pages, which was like stupidly
That's
cool.
freaking cool.
It's so good. I don't know. I mean, for me, it's more like it's not. I'm saying I've done my dash as a performer, but I've done a lot as a performer.
Absolutely.
And I like putting my efforts now into other people.
No.
So I'm bringing up the up and comers and trying to help them with their characters and setting them up for a good long run.
Awesome.
I definitely think I've still got stuff that can be done, and I'm enjoying my role at the moment of just dunking on all the heels. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm not really focused on me at the moment. I'm focused more on everyone else.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. Just, I'm still trying. So this morning I woke up going, man, I'm going to interview a complete institute of New Zealand wrestling, and I'm trying to snap out of my fan mode so I can come back to being this professional interviewer. But throughout this entire interview, I'm like, oh, fuck. So I'm like, I'm trying to come down from that, but just to hear you and your amazing story and just hearing you in general is a blessing, and I'd like to thank you for that. So thank you so much, man. So we're gonna come to a close, but I have a couple more questions before we come to a close. Mm-hmm. So I just want to let you know that you're good friends with this person. Alex Savage is my absolute favorite wrestler of all time.
Yep.
I supported him so he was my MIT teacher, so I supported him ever since. I'm not being paid or forced by a gun for that, but he is legitimately my favorite.
Yep.
So, sorry to ask you this, but is there any plans for Mr. Savage in 2026?
In 2026?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep a closed lip on some stuff. There's some cool stuff we've got planned.
Okay.
We've penciled out, I'd say, 90% of next year already.
Wow.
There's going to be some cool stuff, but I would rather keep it close to the chest, because the fun of wrestling is finding out what's next, and if you know straight away, then you know.
Yeah, it's not fun, right?
Yeah. If you know the ending of the movie, what's the point in going to see the movie?
That's so true. But, I need to know where my boy is, because I know he recently just lost the tag titles, right?
No, he's still tag.
He's still tag champion?
They're still tag team champions. Yeah.
He survived that battle.
Yeah, man. That Phantom Opens match was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I saw like pictures of it, because it was like,
yeah,
holy
those are brutal,
Toledo.
man. I've done 4 of those. They suck. They are so painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some horrendous ones.
What was the worst weapon? Sorry to derail it. What was the worst weapon that was given to you or got hit by?
Someone brought thumbtacks one year, and I got put front first onto thumbtacks. So front bump on thumbtacks. And I'd say close tied is someone brought light tubes in 2020.
No, they brought GCW deathmatch.
Me and Horace did basically a deathmatch Phantom Opens match. That was horrendous. So I got a light tube smashed over my head like pretty early in the match, and it cut both the sides of my head, because like he cracked it, and then it kind of just cut both the sides of my face. Yeah. That match is brutal. I've done the worst ever spot to anyone I've ever done in that match, which is him. I gave him an Alabama slam onto thumbtacks.
No!
Then I immediately deadlift powerbomb him through a door that had light tubes on it, attached to it. So within about 15 seconds, it was like thumbtacks, door with glass.
Jesus!
Yeah, it was unnecessarily brutal, but I enjoyed it. So,
just a brief promo. IPW, bring your weapons match is a must have to go to if you're wanting to. Just don't bring two deadly weapons, please.
Yeah. They get checked at the door. If anyone brings knives and stuff, they get turned away. But
good.
There's been some ridiculous stuff that's been brought for those.
Have you had the? Sorry, one more question, and then we'll go to my actual question. Did anyone bring like a Mick Foley like barbed wire bat or something?
Yeah, we've had barbed wire before as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Most things you could imagine that's been brought for one of those has been brought for one of those, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Back to my boring questions.
Yep.
All right. Sorry. So let the people know out there what is the next IPW show. What is the next time that we will see you performing?
So the next show will be December 13th. That is Impact Pro Wrestling, Nightmare Before Christmas. That's our big end of year show. I'll be wrestling an I Quit match against Sir Mr. Burns. We've been feuding off and on for about a year and a half, so expect that to be pretty brutal. Last time he was in a match involving weapons, my wife sent him to the hospital. She smashed a clock over his head.
What?
And that was obviously glass, and that busted him open badly. So that's really cool. I know the main event is Jay Rilla, who's an undefeated New Zealand heavyweight champion.
Beautiful.
He's defending his title against James Shaw, who's the first and only 5-time New Zealand heavyweight champion.
I remember. Yep.
The tag titles are on the line. Your boy Alex Savage is defending his tag team titles.
With that guy that you do not like?
The guy that nobody likes. I don't even think he likes himself, to be honest.
Really?
It's Will Stone. He probably likes himself too much, actually. They're defending against the Sigma Collective, which is Perfect Peter Part and Jacked Maximum. We've got my wife is in a New Zealand Women's Championship match.
Yeah, let's go.
So it's Amber Sane against Mighty Maya.
Yep.
There's a few other matches to be announced as well, but that's going to be a cracker of a show.
Awesome, man. Where can we catch this wonderful matches? Where's it located?
That's going to be at the Mount Eden War Memorial. That's on Dominion Road. Doors open at 6:30. Shows at 7. Yeah.
Awesome. And it's for me, it's an experience and a half. If you go to one of these IPW shows, you're going to go there for the value of just having an amazing time, and the fans are just wonderful because they are very, very participant worthy into those sort of shows, man. You can hear them before you can see them. So highly recommend that you go to these shows. And lastly, if you have any piece of advice or just a quote that carries you throughout your years and to getting you through all those days, what sort of piece of advice or quote that you have that you want to share it out to those who are watching?
Trust the process. We have a process in place. You've got all these trainers, all the people that care about development of these people. So just trust the process. Trust the process.
Nice. And then thank you once again.
No worries, brother. Thank you for having me.
And once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this jam-packed slobber knocker of an episode as much as I did. Kia ora.